we are doing a pregnancy gentle workout. You can do this in any trimester, and like me, even if you're not pregnant, you can still do it anyway. It'd just be a nice gentle workout. I do highly recommend, if you are pregnant, that you check with your midwife, your doctor, just making sure that you are able to do this workout. When you're doing the workout, it's really important as well that you really listen to your body, especially in pregnancy. So if you're feeling a little bit unwell, maybe you're feeling out of breath, dizzy, or just uncomfortable, please make sure you do stop and listen to your body that little bit more. But when you're ready, bring yourself onto your mat and let's start with a nice setup into Pilates. So feet nice and parallel, and let's start to stand as tall as we possibly can. Just looking straight ahead, hip bones facing forwards, and just let your shoulders soften down your back into a lovely soft V. Finding your neutral spine, our safest point for the spine to be in. One hand on the front, one hand on the lower back. Just start to rock back and forth until you find where you have a nice natural curve, nothing too extreme. And I know this can be a little bit more difficult when you're more heavily pregnant, but just find as much of a natural curve as you can. I just want you to start to feel this feeling of having a corset, a belt muscle around your waist, hugging baby in as well. Nice contraction of 20-30%. Pelvic floor muscles, so important in pregnancy. Let's start to lift our front and back toilet muscles to 20-30%. Then last but not least is our Pilates breathing. Middle fingers together, hands on a rib cage. Taking a deep breath in through the nose. Filling out the sides and the back of the rib cage. Keep your contraction. And exhale. Blowing out candles, relax. If you want a little bit more detail on all those things I just mentioned, do make sure you check out my Pilates fundamentals video as well. So if you're finding that you completely was confused with what I was just talking about and you want more in-depth information, go click on that now before you continue. But otherwise, let's go into a nice gentle warm-up. So we're going to start by just bringing the chin to the chest. And then take the head back slightly, not too much. And let's go in again, nodding forwards. And back. Good, go again. This time we're going to add a little arm movement. So we're going to lift as we tilt the head back into a nice V shape. And I just want you to open out through the chest, not putting any weight into the lower back, and just nod the chin down as your arms come back down. Go again, lift. And lower back down. Let's go again. Deep breath in. And exhale. And again, lift it. And lower. Let's do that last couple of times. Just really mobilizing through that upper back. Last one. And lower down. Just start to reach to the side. Now you may find the more heavily pregnant you are, if you're in maybe your third trimester, you may want to make this movement a little smaller by just bending slightly to the side without the arm reaching, and you may not be bending very much at all. If you do have that range of movement, we're going to do a little sweep over and come back in. Let's come up, really warming up through your spine, a little bit through your waist there as well. Good, let's reach over. And let's bring it back and switch to the other side. And bring it back. Good, we got one more to the other side. Let's reach up and over and come back. Lovely. Just take your feet a little bit further apart, toes slightly turned out, and we're just going to reach across to the top corner, add a tiny little knee bend and reach across. If you don't want to do the knee bend, you can reach straight across, and again, if you don't have that range of movement, just make it a little smaller. Good. If you're doing that knee bend, I want you to make sure your knees are going in line with the feet so they're not turning in here. Good. Little rotation. Little warm up into the legs as well. Let's go last one to each side. Good. And coming back to center, just bring your feet back to a nice parallel position. I just want you to start to walk through the feet. So I want you to imagine you're in mud or you've got chewing gum on the bottom of the feet and you're really walking through. Now as you start to lift your feet, if you're feeling a little bit wobbly, again, with pregnancy we can feel a little bit off balance. You can just hold onto the wall as you start to lift your legs up a little higher. If you can, you're gonna try balance. Good. Let's go last one to each side. And lift. Lovely. Last part of the warm up. Feet nice and parallel. Stand tall. And we're just going to roll down. And you may find you can't roll down too low, whether it be because you're lightheaded or because your bump is in the way. Just go where you can. Remember to keep that contraction through your core. Maybe you're holding onto your legs for a little bit of support. You may be lifting your head a little bit higher than your heart. If you're feeling a little bit lightheaded, just a really lovely one to get that spine nice and mobile. Good. And coming back up. Let's do that a couple more times. And lifting back up. Lovely, let's go for the last one. And let's stand all the way back up, nice and tall. Lovely, let's bring ourselves to the end of our mats. So you've got nice length in front of you to roll down onto your mat. So feet are nice and parallel, and let's do that roll down again. And if you can't reach over too much, that's fine. Just start to bring yourself down into a crouch. If you can, reach down a little lower, then soften your knees and walk them out. Let's bring our hands underneath our shoulders, shoulder width apart, knees underneath our hips, hip distance apart, and at the moment the toes are untucked. We're gonna arch up, through into a lovely C curve, really pulling baby in, and then melt down, not sinking too much in the lower back, but just lifting your head and your glutes. Let's go again, arching up. Lovely one for the spine, especially if you've got back pain. Good. Now if you've got any wrist pain, you may want to roll the end of your mat up just to release any tension. You may want to do this down on the forearms when we start the exercise. Or remember, in between you can sit back and just have a rest until the next one. Let's find where we're perfectly in the middle. We're not arching, we're not sinking. And I just want you to imagine you have a tray balanced on your back. Deep breath in. So keep that tray steady and just reach your fingertips long and reach the arm to shoulder height if you can. Tap the arms back down, come back, switch. Good, so you want to stay lovely and steady. Hugging in for your core, working your pelvic floor too. Good, reach. Let's move through to the legs, deep breath in. Exhale, reach the leg nice and long. Either keep it on the mat or lift it up a little higher to hip level and come back. Good, with that tray, still be nice and balanced on your back. Now as you reach your leg nice and long, I don't want you to sink into your back. Let's keep nice and pulled in. Last one. If this is feeling good, stay with it. If you need to sit back, give your wrists a little rotate, then do. Otherwise, let's put opposite arm to leg together. So nice balance one. Your fingertips and your hands, sorry, your fingertips and your feet should touch back down at the same time. Good, reach. Remember your exhale is where you're using the most effort for the exercise. It's helping you to really keep steady. Good, and switch. Coming back in, let's go ahead for the last one. Coming back, sitting back into child's pose. Give those wrists just a little rotate. Lovely, just come up and slowly take your time as you bring yourself onto your side. And we're gonna lower all the way down into the mat. You're gonna reach your legs nice and long, and if you need to bend the underneath leg for a little bit more stability, then you can. If you can reach your underneath arm nice and long, then do. But again, if it's uncomfortable, bend the underneath arm. Let's focus on lifting our waist. It may not necessarily lift off of the mat, but I want you to have that contraction. And just make sure you're not rolling all the way back here, but you're not tilting forwards either. Your hips are nice and stacked. Arm can just rest in front. Deep breath in. So we're just going to do a tiny little leg lift. And I just want you to reach that leg nice and long. Inhale, lower back down. Still working through our pelvic floor as well. Again, remember that muscle's so important, especially in pregnancy. And after pregnancy as well. Let's come up again. Just see if you can hold and then go into a little swing. So flex your foot, reach the leg in front, and let's do a little point as we swing it back. And the movement doesn't have to be big at all. And I just want you to focus on balance. So we're just working on balance a second ago. So this is really, again, going to test your core, test your waist muscles as well, which we're going to work even more in just a second. So just make that swing as big or as small as you need it to be to keep that control. Good. Let's go ahead, just do that one last time. And swing back. And just drop and fold that leg in. You can stay down here if you want to and have a little bit more rest. Otherwise, if you can, bring yourself up onto your forearms. Legs are tucked behind. Again, just make sure your hips are nice and stacked. Hip bones facing forwards. So just place your top arm in front without sinking at all. And let's activate that waist just a little bit more. So taking a deep breath in. On the exhale, we're going to lift those hips up. And inhale, bring them back down. So we're not sinking into that shoulder. Let's go again. Lift those hips, don't tilt them forwards. And come back down. If you want to, you can add a little arm reach as well. And softly come back down. So we're not lifting up too much at all. Just a tiny little lift. And this is great for the upper body as well. Lift, hand maybe on the hip. And inhale, lower. Lovely, let's go again. Lifting up. And lower down. Lovely, let's do that one last time. Lift. And lower down. Lovely, just bring yourself up to a nice seated position. And just bring yourself over. And if you want to, you can just have a little stretch over to the side. And switch up and over to the other side. And coming up, lovely. Bring yourself down onto your side, other side. So I'm switching straight over. Normally I do a better transition, but you're not going to be able to see me. I'm going to have my back to you otherwise. So we're coming straight over. So if you need a little bit more time to readjust into that position, then take your time. Arm tucked underneath if you need to. Waist is nice and lifted, both legs long or underneath leg bent, and let's lift that top leg just a tiny bit. And inhale, lower back down. Good, pressing that air into the sides and the back of the rib cage. Again, focusing on your lovely pelvic floor lifting, scooping baby in and lower down. Let's go into our side kick. So we're coming up. Flex the foot, let's reach forwards. Point to go back. So remember, each side's going to feel a little bit different as well. So this is my side, which feels a little bit more unstable than the other side. And it's just adjusting. The more and more you do it, your body will become more and more balanced. Remember, you can have that top arm in front for a little bit of support as well. It's a nice gentle movement. And take it back. Let's go for the last one. Again, point and swinging back. Lovely, just bring that leg in. Just take your time as you come up a little higher onto your forearms. Tucking the legs behind, hips nice and stacked. And just have that top arm in front if you need to. Ready for our little lift. Deep breath in. Exhale, lifting up, not sinking into that shoulder. Inhale, lower. If this is really uncomfortable, you may just be doing a little lift without actually lifting the hips. And you can just bring it back, so you can do that as well. Let's try it with the hand by the side if you can, lifting up. Inhale, I want you to be nice and slow to drop those hips down. Don't just quickly drop. Let's go again, coming up. Again, great for your waist, great for your upper body. Let's start to lift that arm up and over if we can. So we're not trying to lift too high. We're just trying to get a little bit of work. Going into that upper body and that waist. Let's go last one. And lower back down. Good. Let's bring ourselves back up again. Sitting nice and tall. Let me bring myself to the middle. And you can just have your legs where they feel comfortable and just reach over again. And switch to the other side. Good, and bring yourself up. Just bring yourself around and shuffle right to the front of your mat. You're going to have your knees bent, your feet flat, and you're sitting as tall as you possibly can. Let's hold on to the back of the legs. Deep breath in. Exhale. I just want you to scoop down. Start to straighten the arms. And I just want you to contract in. So again, you're hugging baby in or bring the hips and the ribs together. And you shouldn't feel any lower back pain here. So if you are, please make sure you make that movement even smaller. Let's go again. Keep those knees in line. Scoop. And coming up. This is a lovely one for your core, but it's also great for your spine. Really nice for that spine. You may be getting a lot of pain at the moment for the spine. And it's great to get it moving. Let's go again. Good, let's try it with the arms reaching in front this time. So reach the arms long and see if you can scoot down. Still keeping that control. And let's come up. And maybe you can go a little bit lower, but we don't want to be going too low down, and we definitely don't want to be laying flat on the mat if we're in our anything over 12 weeks. Let's go again, scoop. And let's come up. Let's go for the last one. Just let this last one bring you down onto your forearms, just stepping the feet in. Now, if you are less than 12 weeks, you can lay down into the mat, and that'll be nice and safe. But anything after 12 weeks, do make sure you're up on your forearms. We don't want to be laying flat. So if you are flat on the mat, just make sure your arms are long. You've got that nice pocket of air underneath your back, but nothing too much. Shoulders down and away from the ears. So even up on the forearms, no sinking. We still need to lift and work. Back is not arching, but we're not slumping down either. You can also have a cushion underneath you as well, just to help you lift up. So let's make sure the feet aren't too far away, they're not too close. Nice comfortable distance. Deep breath in. Exhale, we're gonna lift our leg to tabletop, where our shin is nice and parallel to the ceiling. Hold. Exhale. Lower back down. Let's switch to the other side. Coming up. Really pulling that core in. Hold. Exhale, especially as we go down. Squeeze. So you can stay at this option. Otherwise, let's add a little bit more. We're going to lift. And we're going to exhale, reach. Deep breath in. Come back. Exhale, lower the leg. Go again, deep breath in. Exhale, lift. Inhale, hold, get your control. Exhale, reach. Inhale, come back. Exhale, lower. Alternatively, if that feels a little bit much, you may be drawing the leg along the mat and pulling it back in. And this is still going to work your core as well. You really need to keep those hips nice and balanced. Let's add a little bit more for those of you who can. As long as there's no back pain, lift that second leg. Let's do that reach. Make sure your back doesn't arch to the second leg. And come back. Lower the first. Take your time. Good. Second leg. Let's repeat that. We're coming up. And second leg. Good. We're going to reach. And come back. Reach again. Come back. Let's lower down. 3, 2, all about control. 1, your back is not arching. You're not sinking, I hope. Okay. Staying with whichever option feels best. If you can keep building up with me, a little bit more challenging. And come back. We're going to keep switching your legs. If you can, you're going to reach one leg as your one comes in. Good. And reach. And let's just do this for 5 and 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. Back to tabletop. Let one leg drop down at a time. Lovely. Straighten the legs. Again, if you're less than 12 weeks, you can be down on the mat. Lovely full body stretch. Otherwise, you're up here, really stretching out. Good. Slowly bring yourself up to a nice seated position. And if you're able to, just place the bottom of the feet together. You can have them further away and just relax over. So sometimes we can get a little bit of hip pain in pregnancy. So if this is the case, you may find you need your legs a little closer and you may not be able to reach over as much. Just do what you can. Again, really listening to your body. So in pregnancy, we don't want to be holding any stretches for too long. 10 to 20 seconds, 10, 15 seconds is enough. Good. Just come up and just place your hands behind, just squeeze the legs together. And just let your legs drop to the side. Turn your head the opposite way. You may not be able to twist too much. Just going where you can. Let's come up. And let's switch over to the other side. Good. Coming back up to centre. Just straighten your legs. You may need to take the legs a little wider depending on your bump. Softening your knees if you need to. And just hug over to where you can. You may be able to have the legs straighter, but otherwise keep them where they are. Relax your shoulders, and I just want you to feel a nice gentle stretch all down through the back of the legs. Again, like I said, only holding the stretch for about 10 to 15 seconds. Take the legs a little wider this time. They don't have to be too wide. And again, you can keep the knees bent and just gently reach over. Again, you may be able to reach a little bit lower, or this may be the option that feels best. And you should start to feel this stretch all down your inner part of the legs. Again, just breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. We're not trying to, in pregnancy either, trying to press too much into the stretch. We just want to hold, again, not overdoing it. Good, sitting back up nice and tall, squeezing the legs together. Just bring yourself over onto your side. And let's just fold one leg in, catching above the ankle. And you can be lower into the mat if you want to as well. On your side will be fine, as long as you're comfortable. And just feel that through your quad. Front top part of the leg this time. Lovely. If you want to, you can just hug the leg in, cross it over, and just rest here before we switch. So of course, if you are in your first trimester, this may feel fine, or postnatal, or even if you're doing this and you're not pregnant, you can be up here on your front, as long as you're not feeling any pulling or too much pulling through those abs at the front and no sinking through the lower back. Alternatively, if you can't be here, you're going to be up in a lovely cat release. Again, not sinking into the back too much, but let's just see if we can lift through the chest. Good. So if you was in that lower position, just start to bring yourself up. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Round through the spine, look between the legs. Again, hugging baby in. And melting down. Let's do that one last time. Scooping in. melting back down. And just sit back onto your heels into child's pose. Good. We need to match the other leg up. So when you're ready, I'm going to switch on to the other side. I'm going to come back to facing the camera just so you can see me, but you're just going to do that quad stretch on the other leg that you did just a second ago. Remember, you can lay down into the mat just a little bit more, but let's feel that through the front top of the leg. Again, I'm doing the same leg, but you should be on the other one. Lovely. And then we're coming back. Just bring yourself back onto the heels into child's pose. And I just want you to rest down. You may need to take the knees a little wider just so you can rest comfortably. I just want to breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Just really relaxing. And when you're ready, start to walk the hands in. Tuck the toes under. Bring yourself into a little crouch. Bring the knees so they're in line with the feet, nice and parallel. And you can just have a little rock on and off of the toes. And then just press your feet down into the mat. Start to straighten the legs. Again, if you're feeling lightheaded, just come up a little higher. And slowly roll up bit by bit, lower back to middle to upper. Stand nice and tall, lovely. Just bring yourself back to where you can see me or hear me best. And just lock the fingers, press the palms away and just feel that lovely release through your upper back. Just take the arms behind the body, press the chest forwards, just feeling a lovely little stretch through the chest, through the front. If you want to reach over and just feel a little stretch through your waist, then you can as well. And just do the same to the other side. And let's just come back up and just come into a lovely full body stretch. Letting everything just relax now, so you no longer have to focus on all those things I mentioned at the beginning, like holding your core and your pelvic floor. Of course, it's great if you can do it throughout the day, but you don't have to consciously be thinking about any of those things. And slowly relax down. Thank you for watching. I hope you feel a little bit more relaxed. You feel like you've had a stretch and you've worked your body, but nice and gently as well. Do make sure you check out my other videos. So like I was saying at the beginning, if you want a little bit more details on the fundamentals of Pilates, I'll link that video down below. You can also go watch my Welcome to Just Unique Pilates video, where I talk a little bit more about being legally blind. And if you want to see more pregnancy, postnatal videos, make sure to let me know. But other than that, I hope you have a great day and I'll see you next time. Bye.